welcome back to my garage. In the previous episode, I left you about here. It is really dirty in there. I'm not quite sure why. I know the ring is sticking on one side here, so I think we'll just have to pull the whole thing and get to the bottom of it. Now, I can't say anything about the timing because it wasn't the timing that killed the engine this time. What it was my disc drive adapter thing. It's a piece of steel with 6 small pieces of it's actually cut carbide burrs welded onto it, and this fits around the disc and drives it. Now, one of these pieces have broken in half. Could be because the material is too brittle. Obviously they weren't welded good enough in front here. Could be they became brittle from welding. It was my fault either way. I should have made this thing from just a solid piece, and now I have to pay for it. So what happened was, and I got lucky because this little piece stayed in the crankcase. It entered from inside the disc cover and basically destroyed the disc cover, and this cork lining got destroyed on the underside of the port, and the little piece entered the intake and went into the crankcase and rattled around in there and scored up the crank. And I can see that the conrod is discolored on one side here, so it probably got stuck in there somehow and then made some heat. The bearings are probably gone because of all the shavings present in all parts of the engine now. But luckily it stayed down there, and it seems that only tiny pieces, maybe from the crank or from the cases, got through the transfers and up into the cylinder. So there's just a tiny scratch in the cylinder above one of the beer transfers, and it's just barely, you can just barely feel it with your finger. So a little hone and this cylinder should be totally fine again. So what caused the loss of compression was that a tiny piece got stuck in the piston up here, and it compressed the ring gap and the ring was stuck. Not caused by the incident, but just by wear. The variator is pretty much on its way out too. So the bushings have been worn down, and the tabs in the pulley is starting to get worn away. I think I will get a new variator with a different design. I think I need a different design here because this thing obviously can't take the force. So what now? Well, since we're already teared down and there's so many pieces that has to be replaced, basically the valve cover that's destroyed, and I'm not going to buy another Suzuki TS100 cover. I'm going to make my own. The disc is destroyed. The drive thing is destroyed. So the whole disc assembly will be replaced with a different version. Homemade cover and larger disc, probably carbon fiber. I'm going to enlarge the inlet port and use a bigger carb. Cases will stay the same. I'll probably remove the epoxy. The cylinder is fine, needs a hone, and so I'll keep that, and I'll port it. I need to buy another head dome and a new piston. So variator, disc and disc cover and disc drive thing, head dome, piston, and crank. And the crank. Okay, so basically everything except the cylinder, the head cover, and the cases. Yeah, So I will have to scrounge up some money, and I think I will focus really hard on the Arduino build, the do-it-yourself dyno PCB thing for simple dyno, and get those kits up and running or ready for sale. And hopefully there's enough interest, and I can sell enough units to make some money and help fund this project. Otherwise, if you're a company and you like to sponsor me with some parts, that would be really cool. Probably a long shot, but I will be very grateful if that's the case. Yeah, anyways, and a big thanks to all my patrons. It really helps. But as it is now, I just break even every month, and even with the support from Patreon, I don't really have the extra money for buying stuff like this. I'm sorry for those of you that wanted to see this bike on the road. I was actually going to take it out for a swing this week, but then this happened, and now I think we're ready to start porting it and building a new pipe and to create some real power. Yeah, okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Stay tuned for more blow-ups and maybe a crazy engine in the end. Bye.